I'm Nicole, and I've very recently started my training to become a PWP. And I'm part of the first cohort in the East of England to follow the apprentice pathway to qualification.
Hi, my name is Shamila. I'm a psychological wellbeing practitioner within the HPFT Trust, and I currently work with the South East Wellbeing team. And I've been doing the role, so I started my training in January 2020. And then got qualified in March earlier on this year.
I'm Holly, I'm a senior PWP. I started in IAPT as a trainee PWP in 2016. Then I was a PWP and I became a senior PWP in March this year.
Young, I've recently started my training to become PWP.
So my name's John Reeve. I'm a qualified psychological wellbeing practitioner. I've been qualified for about 8 months and I began my training last March time. So I think I've been in the role as trainee and qualified about 18 months.
My name is Fatai Matiza. I am a qualified PWP now. So I started this role September of 2020 as a trainee for a year, and finished my training around July, August.
And I'm a senior psychological wellbeing practitioner, and I've been in the role only for about a month, so I'm fairly new to this role, but I've been working as a PWP prior to this for the last 2 and a bit years.
Hello, my name is Jorge and I'm a trainee PWP. I started the training in March and I am nearly qualified now.
PWPs support adults who are experiencing common mental health difficulties, such as mild to moderate symptoms of depression or anxiety. They undertake patient-centered assessments, both over the phone or face-to-face. They try to identify areas in which the client wishes to see change. They also complete assessment of risk patients pose to themselves as well as others, as well as safety planning. PWPs offer a range of low-intensity, CBT-based interventions that help patients manage their own recovery. Completing onwards referrals or signposting to other agencies are a common part of the role. This requires them to work closely with GPs, high-intensity therapists, employment advisors, and other healthcare professionals.
We handle a high caseload, so that involves assessing people, presenting with different difficulties of either depression or different anxieties or even other social needs. We do treatments as well. On top of that, our treatments are quite varied. So we do telephone sessions, video sessions, and we even run groups at times. And personally, I'm involved. I have a champion role. I work as kind of BME, but we've tried to change it as a inequality champion role. So we actually contribute in different ways. The role is quite diverse. So again, treating, assessing people, working with different people, even networking with external services as well, just to ensure that we make a difference with people presenting with mental health difficulties. So it's quite rewarding, the role, I would say.
PWPs often are the first professionals that a person that wants support with their mental health will be speaking to. So I suppose that we tend to make our best to make them feel at ease and to better understand what's going on for them and to come up with a solution or with a treatment support plan that can best meet their needs.
The main role of a senior PWP is to provide support and clinical supervision to a team of PWPs. And it's really just to ensure that they're delivering sort of high quality care that's in line with the NICE guidelines. As a senior PWP, you also sort of provide skills training to PWPs, and I also carry my own smaller caseload of clients as well, delivering psychological therapies.
I think the main contribution that all PWPs make is mainly as being the first point of contact for people who have referred themselves to our service. So we offer things called advice sessions, where we talk people through the difficulties they're experiencing. And it's a nice session because you're having a bit of a chat with someone about all the various things that might help. So yes, that might be having support from a PWP, but that might be from other members of our team, such as psychological therapists or counsellors. But also it might be as well that we have a think about maybe some other signposting options to various organisations. We also do one-on-one treatment interventions using sort of guided self-help based CBT. So yes, it's therapy, but it's a lot about training people to be their own therapists by using techniques we give them. And also I do a lot of webinars and group works as well at the moment.
So far, it seems like one of the biggest challenges could be not knowing what to expect. Somebody could look really difficult and complex on paper and then might present completely differently with you, or could read really straightforward and then go on to share something terribly traumatic and awful. So no two appointments are going to be the same. But I do think that probably would be the most rewarding part of the job as well. From what I gather, we're all here because we want to help people. We like talking to people, we like supporting them and helping them through things. And each person is going to be unique with their own story. I think it's going to be really rewarding as well that we get to be a part of that recovery journey with them, and have a genuine impact on the people that we'll be supporting.
I'd say the most rewarding part of my role is the fact that I get to help people. And it doesn't always have to be a massive amount of help. It may simply just be that I have, say, an advice session with someone and I just make them really comfortable and feel hopeful about the treatment they're going to receive. It's not always that you're reinventing the wheel necessarily, but you're just helping people. And I kind of feel like by getting up in the morning, I help people to feel a little bit better. You know, people's days are better for me having woken up and gone to my job, which is a really nice feeling to have. Perhaps challenging side sometimes can be, and I think this is probably true of any mental health job, you might end up working with someone that perhaps just isn't quite ready for that help for whatever reason. It might not be the right time, they might have a lot going on. It can just feel a little bit disheartening, but I think the more you do it, the more you get used to that and you get a lot more resilient and accepting of that. And when you come to terms with that, that really helps address that as a challenge.
Getting people to take responsibility for their own mental health is tough, but it's really essential in this job. You can't be a rescuer for everyone. Sometimes all you need to do is believe in them, help them explore their options. But it is really rewarding when you help someone transition from that powerless state of needing to be helped to them being in control.
When you are a PWP, I think the main part of the training is learning an evidence-based treatment that can help people with a certain type of symptoms. But while sticking to that, you also need to learn how to make adaptations to suit every person's needs, and you need to be quite mindful to treat every individual as an individual.
I'm actually thoroughly enjoying working as a PWP, and I look forward to doing the job every day, because every day is different. There is no day that is the same as the previous day or the next day. So it's like a surprise every day. So yeah, I enjoy it. It's amazing.
So I guess I've learned that there's really a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes in order to make the service as accessible as possible to as many people as possible, also to support the PWP workforce and to ensure that we're delivering a high quality standard of care to patients. I think sort of working in the senior PWP role enables you to be exposed to new parts of the service that you don't otherwise see as a PWP, because you're primarily working sort of one-to-one with clients.
To begin with, I didn't know there was so many different types of anxiety disorders. I just used to think, oh, someone's anxious, that's it. But there's all sorts of different types of anxiety disorders. So I've definitely gained a lot of knowledge in that area. I've also learned, collaborative working is very important, when you're working with people, because my previous experience, I was working in hospitals, and more time, there's a kind of like a treatment plan that you have to follow. And it's there just to ensure, the safety of the patient. But here it's about collaborative working. So you work in line with the patient and ensure that, everything's in their best interest, but at the same time, they're getting the right support for themselves. And also taking care of yourself is very important. As much as we support people, through their own difficulties, we also have our difficulties, and obviously we work with people with complex issues. So that can sometimes, you can live with that. So it's very important to take some time out for yourself. And I'm very glad that I have an amazing supervisor who helps me through that weekly. So we kind of like reflect on how some of those complex cases could have, impacted me or my feelings towards it. And also just kind of like strengthening my passion within the role. That's what I've learned, that this is exactly what I want to do.
you've got to prioritise your studies and you've got to be organised. You split your time between working in service and your university training, and they'll tell you in the interview that the training is intense, and they're not kidding. Ultimately, it's more important that you pass this training than it is to be employee of the month, staying late, taking on extra work. But luckily, you can talk to your supervisor if you think your workload's affecting your studies. I mean, mine's been fantastic so far. I'm really understanding.
There's never a dull moment. There's always learning to be done. There's always opportunities. It's a fantastic team working in IAPT. Mostly, I've only ever experienced supportive colleagues. I mean, you'd expect people working in mental health are very understanding, supportive people, and I've always experienced that.
It's a very rewarding job, but you need to be highly organized and very time conscious. So to be able to do that, always seek support and advice from colleagues and supervisors from your training right up to when you qualify as a PWP. And the other very important thing is just to remember to balance your working life, and you'll be good to go.
I never knew exactly what I wanted to do, other than I knew I wanted to help people, and that was kind of where I was stuck. I came across this role completely by accident, and I thought it looked great, and I was conscious I was applying for a clinical role with no experience. But I went for it anyway, and just to see what would happen, and it happened, and I'm here, and yay. I've spoken with colleagues that have shared that even though it's a really, really tough year of training, and there can, as with any job, be really difficult days, it's so rewarding that they wouldn't change a single thing about their experience. I've learned so much already from my time here, and I'm really excited to see what's to come next. I found an opportunity I didn't know existed, and it's the best decision I've ever made. It's like I finally found that puzzle piece that was missing when I was trying to figure out where to go next and what to do and where to go and all that kind of stuff.
Before I was a PWP, I worked for Shout, who were a crisis tech service. I think just having that little bit of experience, I think it helps in two ways. I think it helps you to learn whether the work is for you, because it can be unique and challenging in a sense in terms of some of the things like resilience that are required of it. I think as well, it just helps you to feel a little bit less daunted when you start a paid role, because you're used to speaking to people, interacting with people about their mental health. And I think any experience like that, although it's perfectly valid to pick up a lot of that on the job, I think any that you've got beforehand is really helpful. And I'd also advise people to, if you are taking a role or considering taking a role, to just throw yourself into it. So there's all sorts of different training that comes up. There's all sorts of different methods for delivering treatment. And I think the job variety that affords is really helpful as well. So definitely do that.
I really hope that IAP services will continue to expand and develop to reach more of the population and provide psychological therapies in innovative ways. I also hope that the PWP role will continue to mature and that there'll be more exciting opportunities for career development within IAP services. I guess one thing that is really exciting already is that PWPs can now register with the VABCP, which is great because it formally recognises the profession and the excellent work that low intensity CBT practitioners do. And this is also great for the general public because it means that the therapists who are registered will continue to maintain high quality standards within their clinical practice.
Being part of the inequality champion role, again, it's about promoting access, people's access to the service from minority ethnic backgrounds. So hopefully in the future, I hope there's more PWPs recruited within this sector from diverse ethnic backgrounds, a lot of cultural awareness training provided, a lot of webinars about cultural awareness, again just to attract people to the service, the PWP role, and again just making people feel comfortable from ethnic minority backgrounds. So then I guess as PWPs we can become more culturally aware, and as a result we're able to provide even more effective treatment.
It sounds like it's going to be a really rewarding career, and I know there's some great opportunities for additional learning when you qualify. But to be honest with you, I didn't even expect to make it this far, so I don't know what the future is going to look like for me yet. I'm just excited to be a part of this new chapter, and I'm taking each day as it comes for now. I had the chance to go to uni, which I didn't think would be possible until much later in my working life. I've had the opportunity to move into a clinical role, and I didn't need to drop a pay band to gain experience or leave employment and figure out what degree to do or any of the life planning stuff that goes with it. I'm already in a much better position than I would have been otherwise, and I can't wait to see what happens from here.